stack and shed, and tackle. Okay, so we're rewatching number one. This entire review. That's what number he's rocking. So let's watch. Okay, right. A little bit of a pop at the end. Obviously they're trying to get lateral here. You have the receiver who cracks. You have the tackle who's pulling into the arc and is blocking anything up the arc. Mauigoa obviously diagnoses this, sees the wide track of the running back, sees the tight end working towards him, engages first, hands inside, extension, looking back at the running back. We can see the eyes are at the running back, sees the running back is still taking a wide track, pulls himself through, frees up the outside half. He's getting held right here. Doesn't matter. Drops his shoulder, lays a pop on the running back. Now, the running back also lays a pop on him. But let's be realistic about who lays, who's in kind of who's better in this play, the running back or Mauigoa. Is it more impressive for the running back to truck over Mauigoa like that, or for Mauigoa to kind of pop him like that? Consider that the running back is working like full steam ahead, while Mauigoa is working laterally. Drops the shoulder, still lays a shot. Yeah, Mauigoa lands on his ass too, but much more impressive play for Mauigoa in terms of being able to pop the running back even while working laterally. Obviously, tracking that, diagnosing it, diagnosing a block, getting the hands on, pulling himself through, the effort to throw the shot at the end, even when he knows that guy is going to run out of bounds anyway. He still wants to deliver a hit. So we like that. And there's a common theme throughout a lot of these draft picks of the Jets is these are guys who tend to play with an aggressive mindset. So we like that. Mauigoa sack design question mark. Yeah, I remember not liking the design. I forget exactly why, but we'll see. Number one right here, obviously going to Blitz in this incident. So they run like a TT stunt. I don't necessarily love the TT stunt with Mauigoa also coming into that gap. It's a little bit of overload, and you can see it kind of slows down Mauigoa because he's trying to see really where the most space is, but it's delayed because of the TT stunt. So I don't love that design, but relatively easy sack for Mauigoa, really not covered up much. Finds himself through the B gap, and is able to bring down the quarterback, lays a pop on him. Obviously by design, even though I didn't necessarily like the design, but we still have a sack on the quarterback, so we'll show it. This is one thing in terms of Mauigoa. I think this is something that the Jets may, talking about a fifth round pick. Is he going to see reps this year? Probably on defense. Probably not really, obviously, unless there's an injury. We don't even know where he stands. He might be the fifth linebacker. He might be the sixth linebacker. What if they like Zaire Barnes? Like we have no idea. One thing I do think he'll be able to do, and I'm interested to see if the Jets use him in this way, is that again with it 3-4 defense, you tend to have five guy or with the guy who at least likes the 3-4 defense in Aaron Glenn, he's going to tend to want to have five guys in line of scrimmage. So even if he's running a 4-3, he may want that third linebacker on the field to be on the line of scrimmage. So like a strong side linebacker who can blitz, who could drop into coverage, who could set the edge. And I think Mauigoa may be thrust into that role, at least initially. I'm not sure how often he's going to do it, but maybe 5, 6, 7 reps a game he's on the field as like a quasi stand-up, defensive edge type player. So I think he has the capability to do it in terms of setting the edge like he did, standing up to split blockers, standing up to pullers and things like that. He's for 230. He definitely has good power, specifically in his upper body. But they run counter right here, and the guard pulls, and Mauigoa, who's probably outweighed here by almost 100 pounds, is able to take on the offensive line with the correct shoulder, inside shoulder, propel himself off of that right instep, get nice and low, and he stands him up. Like, yeah, he gets jolted back maybe half a yard here, if that, but he does a good job. Effort after to swipe the hands, wipe the hands away and then get in on the tackle. But it's just more of an example of like, hey, for a guy who's 230 pounds, for him to stand up a pulling guard like that who outweighs him by probably about 100 pounds is impressive. And it made me think like, okay, 3-4 guy with a 4-3 team, he can have some 5-2 looks, get an extra guy on the line of scrimmage like this, even like in a bear front like this, like, okay, he's going to be that fifth guy in the bear front. Like I think Mauigoa may have a role like that. Now, maybe I'm getting over my skis, but it's a role I could see him filling, and the Jets may be thinking that he could fill. In terms of like, hey, okay, well, he'll be a special teams guy, and then maybe when we want those 5-2 looks, we'll play him, 5, 6, 7 reps a game on the actual defense. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna do that. We have Maui or Mauigoa. I just put Maui because it's shorter. Mauigoa, Philly special, blown coverage. I believe it's a Philly special, right? I think they reversed the quarterback pass. Handoff, reverse, supposed to pick up the quarterback, blows the coverage. As you can see, he gets into an oh shit mode where he initially tracks it, right? Right now, he's probably in man coverage on the running back. Running back gets the ball, quarterback leaks out. Running back then hands it to the receiver on the reverse. Mauigoa, distracted by some, obviously all the action in the backfield, lets the quarterback sneak past them, wide open for a touchdown. Now, not the easiest play. It's not something that like, hey, we have to worry about him versus Philly specials because it happened all the time in the NFL. Obviously there's not a ton of trick plays in the NFL. Some games none, some games 3, 4, whatever it may be. There's clearly not a lot, but obviously when it happens and you blow a coverage, I'm gonna show it. Not the biggest concern. Again, it's not like we're facing any Philly special defense or offenses or anything like that in the NFL these days, but obviously want to see him keep his wits about him and be able to contain that, right? So uh Mauigoa, patient, fill and stop. Okay, number one right here. So we have like tight, we have a tight zone split right here. And Mauigoa, who may be in coverage on that H-back, maybe in coverage, or if not, he just follows the action. He follows the action, sees him sifting across the defense because it actually looks like the linebacker maybe in man on him, and that's why he follows him. But he follows the flow of him while he's also tracking the running back in the backfield. Sees the running back taking it more vertical and inside, lowers his base, hands inside, stands up the blocker, gets inside towards the running back, who's again, he sees him taking more of a vertical angle, makes a tackle. And patience, not just jumping to his right to the offense's left, following the flow of it, following that sifter, keeping his eyes up on the running back who's taking it more vertical, filling that inside gap, making a tackle. Right. Mauigoa missed tackle, breakdown, or lack thereof, probably. That's one of his biggest problems is he does not break down properly. His angles, I seem to remember being too high. He's not a good tackler. He'll lay the pop, but in terms of consistency, making a tackle in the open field, I don't want him in the open field too much. So I said I'd rather have him tight and in the box because he tends to take big steps, not break down. All of these things. So it looks like he just, whether it be in a hole or he just straight spying that quarterback, it doesn't really matter. Quarterback obviously steps up and through the pocket, and then Mauigoa is going to try to contain him. And he really just he has to trust his speed here. He has good speed. He has good acceleration. I don't think he's the loosest athlete in the world. He can be a little bit tight, and he tends to slip because of his hips are a little bit tighter. But here with the quarterback obviously angling to the outside, just break down. And if he gets to the outside, just track him down and tackle him to the outside. But there's no reason to take big steps, huge shuffles to the outside. He doesn't get a hand on the quarterback, you know. And we're talking about a quarterback here. We're not talking about Saquon Barkley or whoever else in the NFL, Bijan Robinson. You're talking about a quarterback from South Florida. You gotta be more confident in yourself, break down better, stay more connected to the ground with your feet instead of taking big lateral steps and hops. He misses quite a few tackles, so that's one of the bigger concerns I have in his game. Mauigoa, right edge sack. So we saw him once setting the edge on the right side of the defense. Now we see him on the left side of the defense here as like a stand-up linebacker. Again, or like stand-up edge defender. It's something that I think he may do with the Jets a little bit. Not as a pure like pass rusher, but I think he offers some versatility in this aspect. So he's rushing the right tackle right here. Uses a long arm. Sees the open chest. Stabs in the chest, taking advantage of one arm's longer than two. Good long arm. Throws the right tackle back and off balance. Peeks inside. When he peeks inside, he sees the quarterback scrambling, flattening out to get outside of him, puts on the brakes, frees up the outside arm, tackle, sack, actually sack. So pretty good long arm. Obviously, really we want to keep that long arm attached. We don't necessarily want to throw the guy off of us because then he's allowed to kind of refit. We want to really ride out that long arm, but nonetheless, we're talking about a linebacker here. Throws him aside. Again, peek, find the quarterback, trying to get out of there. Nope. Sack from Mauigoa. So we see some edge versatility from him. Falls for fake. This is something that you see too much on his film. Missed tackles, biting on eye candy, things like that. He tends to do. So fall for fake. He's right here. Okay. So fake pitch takes him completely out of position. Okay, you're assuming the scouting report. I'm sure this isn't the first time they did this with this quarterback. It's not Peyton Manning. This guy can move a little bit. So I'm sure in your scouting report, be aware of fake tosses, things like that. And if it is fake toss, you have your teammate and now Jets teammate Barron here, who's going to be responsible for this running back. It's not like Barron's not there and he's splitting the difference of these guys and he falls for the fake. That would be a little bit more understandable than Barron's here. He has the running back. You have the quarterback here. Completely falls for it, takes himself out of position, doesn't get close to the quarterback. Right. Got to be more disciplined, not fall for that as hard as he did. And if anything, okay, yeah, bite on the running back a little bit. Barron should have outside leverage. He'll force it back inside. You have time to get there. Mauigoa missed tackle. Again, it's frequent on his film. The Jets are going to be a bad tackling team in general this year, I think, again. Their linebackers are good in terms of Quincy and Sherwood are pretty solid tacklers. But you talk about Mauigoa, if he plays, not a good tackler. Tony Adams, not a good tackler. Cisco, not a good tackler. Their corners aren't the best tacklers. So I don't think Stevens is bad at it actually if he starts. But here's Mauigoa. Okay, so tight zone. Goes to fill the A gap. One, I would like to see him, and this is one of the. So there's times where he's patient, and then there's times where he's not patient. Right? Like holy crap, that's groundbreaking, but it's true. Here, running back has the ball, pretty open. Open A gap here. I don't want him to creep down, take away his momentum, and get onto that his D tackles back. Fill that gap. There's no reason to close ground here and lose your momentum. Loses his momentum. Now he's shuffling, not really driving the feet into the tackle, not really carrying much momentum into it. Throws an arm tackle, doesn't drive the feet, gets shed. Lets up an extra 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so touchdown. He needs to fill that better. Getting vertical like that and taking away your momentum. Fill that gap, dude. It's a vertical track and that gap is wide open. They're attacking it. So I don't not the best diagnosis of a run. And you kind of hear before like, oh, he's really smart in the run game. It's hit or miss. It's definitely hit or miss with Mauigoa. Another missed tackle for Mauigoa. Number 1. Okay. Closes ground line of scrimmage, play action. Gets back. Right. Quarterback ends up running it because there's nothing open. Takes a super high angle. Again, if anything, you want to track the hip, track the near hip, right? So I'm going to take an angle here, not here, right? Takes it too high. Quarterback is going to undercut that all day, undercuts it. Arm tackle, nope, can't bring him down. Again, now we're talking about a quarterback from South Florida. We're talking about a quarterback from Cal that he's missing tackles on. Badly missing tackles, like barely getting hands on guys. Can't do that at the NFL level. You're gonna get shit on, just quite frankly. Mauigoa, I keep saying that. Mauigoa, give me interception, hole in a hole. Okay, this is just bad quarterback play. Transparently, looks like he's in a hook or just like a hole in cover 1. He probably is in a hole. So it looks like he got man coverage here. So he's probably like cover 1 hole or even like 2 hole. And all he's doing is dropping back, gaining some depth, reading the quarterback's eyes. Quarterback's looking to the left all the time. Takes Mauigoa directly there, throws it directly to him. The quarterback just never sees him. It's a gimme interception, and they win the game because of it. or they finish the game because of it. They don't necessarily win the game because of it, but they close it out because of it. Lost in traffic. Okay, so we've seen that a few times already now. Mauigoa right here, right? Closing ground to, getting a little bit too aggressive, getting up to the line of scrimmage, not giving himself the ability to get over top of guys, right? So he sees the action. And again, the thing about it is you gotta know the scheme around you, right? They have a stunt.